we're just going to dive into movies and talk about some movies that we love from 2023. And when I think about movies from 2023, the number one movie that jumps into my mind is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Um, for me, that was just like amazing. Like it was a cinematic journey, like going to theaters, seeing the art style, hearing the music. I went and saw it in theaters like 3 or 4 times. And it was super cool. But I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on Spider-Man. If you liked Across the Spider-Verse or um, some other movies. I mean, notable movies that came out. We had Mario Bros. Movie came out this past year, which was awesome. As well, we had Barbie and Oppenheimer, which was kind of a fun cultural thing when we had Barbenheimer going on. You know, the boys were pulling up to see both of them. So,
Yeah.
plus Indiana Jones, Gran Turismo. There's some other good ones, but what do you boys think?
I mean, Spider-Man was awesome. I thought, as being a longtime Spider-Man fan, I just love the way that they captured it. I mean, I love the first one, right? Into the Spider-Verse was awesome. It was the first movie that kind of took that comic aspect, right, for Spider-Man and kind of turned it into this fun little thing. And this next movie was actually the same thing, right? Where it just picked up from the where it left off and had so many cool experiences with the vast Spider-Man, right? Because that is one thing that Marvel does is their dimensions and all the alternate versions of it. But I really loved it, and the music, like you were saying, the music was amazing in the first one, and then in the second one just took it and kept on going. So I think those are probably the alternate versions of the music were probably like my favorite aspects of that movie.
Yeah, I think
That's sick.
Spider-Man stole the show this year. I haven't seen some of the movies you listed. Barbie was pretty good. It had a few problems in my mind, but Spider-Man just was like, yeah, cinematic masterpiece. I was hooked for 2.5 hours or whatever, however long it was, and I was super sad to see that it actually wasn't the end, or we are supposed to get a part three now or whatever. I don't know, but definitely my favorite. It's probably my favorite universe for Spider-Man right now. I didn't grow up on the animated
Interesting.
stuff. I played the video games as a kid. I don't love the Tom Holland stuff. I was more of a Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. So that this was it there's Spider-Man, Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home, right? No Way Home is
Mhm.
probably my favorite of those three, just because it has
Yeah.
the Andrew Garfield and the Tobey Maguire. But yeah, I love what they're doing with Spider-Verse. The music Lucas already talked about, but yeah, ultimately
Metro
definitely my favorite
Boomin,
movie of
bro.
the year. Yeah, Metro
Metro.
Boomin did
Metro.
Yeah.
awesome.
No, top notch, top notch. And I agree. I think like you're saying, Lucas, like Sony like really leaned in on that one to like the whole multiverse aspect of it. And like the voice actors were amazing, the art style was amazing, and the soundtrack was just fire. So I think that for sure takes the cake. But did you ever see Mario Bros movie, Jason? Or still on the watch list?
Still on the list.
That's good.
Because that
It's
one
pretty good.
that was a fun one. That one had a lot of
Yeah.
nostalgia. Like maybe there's people that like it, people that hate it. I think Chris Pratt killed it, and there was a lot of callbacks to the originals, and not just callbacks to Mario, but to other Nintendo games, which was pretty
Yeah.
fun. So
Okay. Okay.
um,
Well, maybe we'll have to watch it. I'm
maybe
open to that. I'm not against
yeah,
seeing. I just haven't.
yeah. So, anyways, I think that's kind of 2023 for me. Maybe we throw it forward. I think Lucas, you want to talk about 2024, some movies that are coming out this year?
Yeah, so 2024 is kind of there's actually a few movies coming out that are going to be pretty sick, but I think the one that I'm most excited for, and I mean we've unfortunately Jason hasn't seen it yet, the first movie, but I know that you and I, Jake, have actually really enjoyed this movie, but Dune Part 2 is coming out
Oh yeah,
and comes out March 1st, which is here in just
nice.
a couple months, and that's going to be super exciting. And I mean, I just love it just based off the trailer, seeing kind of like the big names, come back. Josh Brolin, Florence Pugh, Austin Butler, um, we get,
What about the main character? You didn't even say the main character's name.
yeah, well, I'm
Yeah, bro,
saying
dude,
Timothy,
Timothy Chalamet and
yeah,
Zendaya,
Timothy
bro.
Chalamet and Zendaya. They're like the OGs, but these are like, Josh Brolin was
New
back then, but
characters.
we kind of just didn't, we just assumed that he died in the first one. Spoiler alert. Um,
Whoa,
but
whoa, whoa! I
I
don't even
mean,
need to watch the movie
If
now.
you watch the trailer, anyways, but it was cool because it just kind of brought back, and I mean the trailer was sick because you see Paul, or Timothy Chalamet and his character, where you see him kind of like taking on his role as as kind of like the prophetic, like chosen one of the wasteland. And so what I don't know if you guys saw the trailer or anything, but what are your thoughts on that?
Dude, I'm pumped for it. I like honestly, the first movie was good. I liked Dune, but like it felt like 3 hours of like a setup for the next movie. Like when you think about it, like I and speaking without too many spoilers for Jason here, like it felt like it was teeing up more, right? So I'm excited because I think now they've had this build up, they've introduced you to the characters and they've set up the storyline. And like you're saying, Timothy Chalamet now is stepping into this role. He's with the Fremen. He's like working with them. I think it's got potential to just be a crazy movie. So, and like you said, bringing back those big name actors and then adding a bunch of people to that star-studded list, right? I'm pretty pumped for it. So,
Yeah. And it's cool too because there's only 2 parts, right? So we're not gonna have like a saga. It's only supposed to be like everything's supposed to conclude at this next point.
Well, and here's a question for y'all. I honestly haven't read the book. I have no tie to this series. Well, these 2 parts. What, or I should say, we have like a few other shows coming right now they're from books. Like, what does it do well? Like the first one, did it do well with staying connected to the book? Did it branch out? Did people like that it went away from the book? Like, what's the synopsis there?
Honestly, I mean, I haven't read the book, so I couldn't tell you. I think like the most enjoyable aspect of it for me I mean, it's a little weird, a little different in the sense of like, okay, they're in space. There's like all these different cultures and people and stuff, kind of like we see in like Star Wars or Star Trek, right? But like the cinematography in it was pretty cool. Like the different shots of like the planet, like it's a sand planet. We've talked about that on the show. I mean, we're not crazy fans yet. Tatooine, all those places.
At least in Star
But
Wars, Arrakis is pretty cool.
yeah, Arrakis is pretty cool. So like the planets are cool, the ships are interesting, like the action sequences were pretty sweet. So I think like if there's a movie to see in theaters, it was a really cool movie to see in theaters just with the cinematography and also the soundtrack was pretty cool. So that's what I
Yeah.
enjoyed the most about the first one.
Agreed. I think the world building was probably the biggest aspect for me, which is just it didn't feel like it was trying to copy other sci-fi. It was just kind of trying to be its own thing, you know? And it's cool too, because they're like you'll see it in the trailer as well. Like there's these big, massive like space like desert worms, right? And they're a danger. Like they're like super dangerous and they have to kind of like go around it. But to the Fremen, that's kind of like a part of like their religion and stuff. And so it's cool because it's like we've seen that before in media, but it wasn't like a huge point. It's like, oh, this is just part of it, you know? And it's cool because they're actually pretty baller.
Mhm.
So, but that is what I'm excited for, at least movie wise in 2024. So we'll just kick it to TV shows now.